Gentlemen, we're here. It's another week, and our viewers are faithful.
I ain't scared of no bed. I ain't scared of no
hate Jello. I hate Jello.
Hey, there's
I
always
hate
room for
Jello.
Jello.
I hate Jello. Man, I hate Jello. Hey, did you see this? I hate Jello.
Also, not as Christmassy as I had hoped.
So last week we didn't talk about one iota of Christmas during the Batman, and I watched the Batman Returns live with Steve, which we did talk about, but Steve actually took a Christmas count of sorts, or at least we were joking about it.
I stopped.
We didn't talk about anything Christmassy.
No, not really.
Yeah,
there was a couple of, like, there's a point where Christopher Walken says, like, happy holiday. Or whatever.
I bring you peace and good tidings wrapped in a bow.
Yeah. I made a note in this watch. You see Dana come into frame, and then you see somebody carrying a Christmas tree down behind her. So Christmas starts right away in this movie, but it takes a back seat to the Ghostbusters. There's like hardly any ghosts in this movie. I have
a lot of gripes. I
started the movie. Here, I'm going to do something. Oh, I didn't plan this right. I have a review, so I'll just tell you right now. That's okay, whatever. I have a review of this movie from last year. I only gave it a 3.2. And I thought, going into this thing, like the first 40 minutes of the movie, I was like, yeah! But then we'll get into it as we talk.
There was a couple of 0.2. Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
No, my friend wants me to send the link, so.
As we get into it, I'll talk about where the movie might actually get a lower rating than 3.2 this time around, because it's so good, and then it's not. And especially when you compare it to the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But all of that and more in this week's episode. So, Kaylin.
This week's episode, hosted by me. I'm taking the reins. We're doing Ghostbusters 2. It's on the screen back there. These guys are with me. We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. We might get a little rambunctious, but we're going to talk about Ghostbusters 2 throughout. And before we get into how we like to start this thing off, I just want to say there is no movie title call-out, but...
No, they weren't like, oh, wait a minute, are we in Ghostbusters 2?
He says...
2?
I think that it's worth noting.
They say Ghostbusters, we're back, and I'm going to give it a half point, and that's at the 36-minute, 40-second mark.
Well, no, because, okay, here, let me posit this to you, though. At 4 minutes and 40 seconds, Winston says Ghostbusters after we've heard in the movie that the Ghostbusters song is a song in that universe.
Yeah.
I would say that 4 minutes and 40 seconds, they do say the title of the movie. He doesn't say, we're Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, what about
that's
the
first time
they say it? That way it'll be like like abstract.
Yeah, I suppose. We didn't think it had that far, I guess.
I like where your head's going with that, though, Jace, man. And on that note, how about so with the way you guys are coming up on my phone, Steve, let's start with you for your introduction to this movie. Like how were you first introduced to it? What do you remember?
So when I was a kid, like many movies that we've discussed on this podcast, I was scared of Ghostbusters because I was told it was a scary movie by my mom. And Ghostbusters 2, obviously, you're not going to watch the sequel without having seen the first movie. But I do have a very specific memory that also haunted my nightmares for a long time of the goo in the bathtub. Like
Yeah.
I actually drooled. Holy shit.
Also, hi, Steve's mom.
She does watch once in a while. So the goo coming out of the drain or the tap, I guess. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's a tap, right? The tap.
The faucet?
And the faucet. There you go. Faucet. And when Alien is taking off the blouse in the bra, I was like, oh. But then with the baby, and then it goes to the tub, and then it's like, like this, like gross, like. I have a very distinct and real memory of that happening in my real life, and it isn't my real life. I know that now after watching this movie like several times as an adult, that I literally created a ghost in my own brain. I thought that happened to me. I thought that the goo in the tub happened to me for like a little while as a kid. I was like, and then I was gonna go have a bath, and then there was a goo in the tub. Like I actually thought that was real in my own life. So I was introduced to this movie earlier than I should have been, once again by the same babysitter crew that took care of me when I was like a little kid and showed me The Evil Dead and a lot of movies I shouldn't have watched.
Well, it's a good babysitter right there.
So that plus my mom saying that Ghostbusters was scary meant that I didn't really rewatch Ghostbusters as a whole franchise until I was in my like early teens, I guess. And then I watched it and I was like, these are great. They're great. They're like Star Wars. This is amazing. So that was my first intro.
Word. I'll thank you very much. Jace, man, I give the reins to you. What was your introduction, first memories of this movie?
Ghostbusters 2 was my favorite movie when I was 7 years old. And the irony of it all is I would always see Ghostbusters 1 on television.
Yeah.
People would always rent Ghostbusters 1 because it's a better movie.
Yeah.
But I loved Ghostbusters 2 because I loved the cartoon show. And this movie, much like Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze, is a direct movie version of the much more popular cartoon at the time. And I had a tape in preschool. I might have been even younger. This movie came out in 91, right? So I'm 6.
89, I think. 89.
No. It is the 90s, my friend.
No, it's 89. I'm the computer guy. I have it right here in front of me.
Oh, okay. 1980. Okay, so yes, I was 4 when it came out. So I probably saw it when I was 5. Anyway, my point is, I didn't have access to this movie the way I wanted to. And I remember I had a tape at preschool that had the Teddy Bears Picnic song. And then afterwards, on that tape, it had the dun 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 version, the Run DMC version. And I loved it so much.
We all like
and I still love it too.
We all like the newest version, which is Bustin'.
The Fall Out Boy version?
No.
Oh, the Neil Cicerega version.
Yeah.
There is a new version for Ghostbusters. It's called Ghostbusters Answer the Call, is the all-ladies version. Yeah. The Paul Feig one. And movie sucks on every single level. It's terrible on every level.
The Paul Feig?
That's not true.
It's absolutely 100% true. They chose good actors, got terrible performances out of them. They used the worst improv
What about
nonsense.
when Chris Hemsworth isn't listening?
It's cool. There was one funny joke.
I won't listen
in the whole thing.
And then when the phone rings really loudly, he covers his eyes again later. It's like a callback. Yeah, it's good. No,
This isn't a movie. This isn't a podcast about a movie that came out 5 years ago. This is a podcast about a movie that came out.
Oh, is that your way of walking around the fact that you hate women?
Why you always do that when I bring up that I has nothing. I like Melissa
I'm
McCarthy.
joking. You can dislike that movie without.
I hate Leslie Jones. I do hate Leslie Jones because I think she's just a terrible actor and comedian. But
I would arguably say that she is the funniest person in that movie.
She is the worst part of anything she's ever in.
She is the funniest in that movie. She is the funniest person in that movie. Arguably,
Paul Feig pulled the old. I'm gonna just make Bridesmaids, but with Ghostbusters technology, and I hated every minute of it. Anyway, my point is, this Ghostbusters 2.
I think that Jason likes Ghostbusters a little bit more than you and I, Kaylin.
It was my shit when I was a kid.
Yeah. I've been to your house,
Turtles.
and I know that you have so many Ghostbusters action figures. It's kind of odd.
Fuck you. Look at your Star Wars collection.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's not odd. I'm saying that yours is odd. Equally
My point is, I can pinpoint points in this movie that I was like, that's the Celotoy, i.e. when they have different colored jumpsuits on. That was the Celotoys.
For certain, this movie has so many pinpoint moments. Like, it's blow for blow just as funny as the first one if you break down.
It's the same idea though as if you take the first Star Wars and then the Force Reawakens or the fucking nonsense first Rey movie is, where they basically did like a shot for shot remake that's just different enough, that it's just enough different stuff.
Yeah, but they also add enough stuff in there that you respect, where they actually thought about where would the Ghostbusters be.
Yeah.
5 years after the fact.
So there's a great companion to these two movies that I think is important. I have canonized it in my head to make it make sense. But there was a rumor always that Ghostbusters 3 was going to be Ghostbusters Go to Hell. What they did is they took that storyline and they repurposed it for the Ghostbusters video game that came out about a decade ago. And the Ghostbusters video game,
very good video game, by the way.
A very good game. Also, it takes place.
Excuse me, I said very, very good. You just said very. So can you add another very?
Very, very, very good video game.
There you go.
And I consider it Ghostbusters 2.5 because it's not necessarily a sequel, but it kind of rehashes the first two movies. But then it adds a bit at the end that's basically that idea.
Yeah.
And I consider that, and then I haven't seen Ghostbusters Afterlife because the theaters are.
Well, we should all go see it together, guys. Come on, Jason. I mean, Kaylin, come on down to downtown Toronto.
Don't do that. You'll get COVID immediately.
Oh fuck! Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
Stay the hell away from me.
You can come here. You're just gonna. You would just get it immediately. You would come here and you would get it immediately because we have like fucking 1,400 cases a day right now.
Well, you know what? You know what? We're not here to talk about that.
We should not talk about this because it'll just reveal how much we both want you to get vaccinated, you idiot.
But my point, dummy. But my point is,
you guys want me around a lot longer in this world. Are you Illuminati, Jason?
But my point is, Ghostbusters 2 is like my favorite movie when I was a kid, and I didn't get to see it enough.
Very fair.
I didn't have access to it, and it's made for kids. But the thing is, my last point that I want to make about it is the horrifying bits in this movie are not for kids. The heads on the pipes, the Scoleri brothers, even Slimer's a little unsettled. The Scoleri brothers! Yeah. I love it. Anyway,
put him away from murder.
The way that last week was kind of Steve's childhood thing, I'm gonna have a lot to say about this movie because I have a love-hate relationship in that I loved it when I was a kid, and the older I get, the more I pick it apart. The whole relationship between Dana and Peter, there's so much of it, and it's like you got to pare it down. This movie doesn't need to be an hour and 50 minutes if you're gonna spend.
It's weird because
10 minutes at a time with these two just being all weird and rekindling the relationship. Then why'd you kill the relationship between the movies?
Well, it's because he started introducing her as the old ball and chain. That's when
the old ball and chain.
But I would say that this is very good in its sequelization of the first movie because it does acknowledge the first movie. They're not just jumping in. Like they take some time to be like, this is where the Ghostbusters are. This is where Dana is. And the only reason that this movie happens is because of Dana again, which is like so cool in my brain, where I'm like, oh, like they died as a franchise. Like they did not succeed after they stopped the disastrous events of the first movie.
Well,
The only reason that
ghosts.
the only reason that they come back is because Dana has an issue again, which is like she goes to them. She goes to them. She is like, I was walking down the street and my baby carriage moved a little bit. I'm going to call the Ghostbusters because I know that they know what this stuff is about. And, you know, she doesn't go to Peter Venkman. She goes to Ray. Like,
and specifically says, don't talk to Peter. The thing is about the ghosts in this world, in this universe, and this happens almost in every episode of the cartoon as well. They're isolated incidents that can be taken care of, and then that's it until there's another event. But every time that event is taken care of and they save the world or whatever, everybody in New York forgets. They completely just forget that anything happened.
Well, I think that's because everybody in New York forgets what happens like 5 seconds ago. Like they
look at the Avengers movies.
Over here.
Yeah, look at the Avengers.
Yeah,
they had the snap. They had the war on New York with the Chitauri, and they just are like, well, it's all good. The city's rebuilt. Hope the event, and they see the Avengers again. And they're like, oh no, what's going to happen now? So this, yeah.
So, if I may, I don't have a strong connection to this movie. I did see it as a kid, probably rented it on VHS from Jumbo Video, and got some free popcorn. I do remember the purple ooze.
It was a big thing in Halifax. I don't know if you guys had the same thing here, Steve, but the old just Jumbo. Going into a Jumbo Video for popcorn.
Oh yeah, we had a Jumbo. We had a Jumbo Video. Yeah.
Did you have free popcorn?
It got shut down real quick, but
that's all we had though. You guys had choices here in Toronto and Brampton and stuff.
Wait, you didn't have a Blockbuster? You only had a Jumbo Video?
We had Jumbo.
That says it doesn't give a fuck.
Video Difference was like the indie one, and then Jumbo.
The Video Difference, that was like indies movies, and we did have a Blockbuster, but I don't think the Blockbuster opened until later, and nobody really went there because it was expensive. We went to the Jumbo, which later became a Rogers Video, and they were all on the same street.
No, first one was Ambassador, and then Rogers.
Of this movie was whatever you said, but the ultimate irony is that Blockbuster Video came in and shut down Jumbo Video in Halifax, and then was like sneakily like, now we're the king, and then they ultimately fell to
it's because they had like 20 copies of each movie, and Jumbo had one copy of each movie, sometimes 4.
Sometimes 4, sometimes none.
It's hard out there on the East Coast in the 90s.
I do absolutely love this movie though. Like
let me do a quick little rundown. So 5 years later, we get introduced to Dana, and what do we see? She has a child. Did her and Peter get it?
Ugh, internet connection bad.
She goes to Ray and Egon, and what?
Your internet connection.
Your connection's a little bit sketch.
I'm on my Wi-Fi, so if I go to my data, if I keep this open but minimize it for a second, will you guys still be here?
I don't know if it's gonna stop, if it's gonna close the whole shit or not.
Okay.
These are the moments that I stay awake at night about when we stop the podcast to talk about internet connection.
Okay, I'll remember for next time. But she asked not to tell Peter because they had a falling out. She hooked up with some other guy. A lot of people claim the stiff from the first Ghostbusters, who's like waiting outside of the Symphony Hall with her or whatever. She works at a museum as a what's it called when you revitalize art?
Restores.
Yeah,
she restores paintings.
Yeah, exactly.
And plays the cello.
Yeah, a job that I really wanted to have based on this movie. Yeah, I wanted to restore paintings. I thought that would be such a cool job.
It'd be tedious, but cool.
Watching it now, I watched it today, and I was like, That would be the most boring ass job. Like some guy being like, okay, hello, oh,
Dana seems like the most
good
boring
job.
person ever. Like she just is practicing cello at 4:00 in the afternoon. Like, you know, she doesn't even like play. We don't even. Is there a side story they cut where she's like first chair at the symphony?
Yeah, she's like, she's like, she is like incarnate art. Like she is art. Period. Yes. Like she is. I am an art. I am art. That's her whole.
And that was the crew who wrote the movie, being like, we're gonna write a smart, sophisticated, cutting edge woman character.
She's a lady. She knows how to paint. She knows how to cello.
It's so fucking transparent that they were just trying to write a character like that.
Sophisticated.
I would say more so in this movie than the first movie. Like the first movie, it's not as down your throat, but in this one, like it's when he picks up the like.
I like it when he
cello
plays like a guitar.
Very good. I also love like the entire intro of this movie. Like
it's so good. It's the best one out of the three that I've seen.
Thank you, Highgate.
Yes, Brian. She was a professional cellist in the first movie.
She absolutely was. Yes.
Brian,
she was like going for first chair or whatever.
Yeah.
What?
With an I or Y?
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes Brian spell their name differently.
Oh, it's Brin.
I'm just being silly.
It's the regular one. It's the if you misspell it, you spell brain. So.
But yeah, Peter finds out
Brain.
Dana has gone to them for help, and they're like, "Oh, where's this?"
Come on! You're fucking glossing over the best part of the movie, which is the intro of the movie. The introduction of this movie is amazing.
The baby thing?
No, they all are where they would be. They looked at the Ghostbusters and they're like, "What would these guys be doing?" And they put them in the perfect
years later
professions. Like Egon is like doing tests, and he's like,
he's still a scientist.
Let's see what happens if we take the puppy away. And like,
but it's just Steve. 1 second, isn't it a little bit too perfect that he's testing the exact thing that it turns out the ooze is based off of scientifically? He's testing the family to see if their rage, or their emotions are affecting the world around them. And
but
then
he's also testing multiple people for that. Like he's not just testing.
That's true.
It's not like he's just doing one thing. Like he's like, I've been slowly increasing the temperature in this room.
I know, but you see the parallel that I mean, right? You see that he's like foreshadowing what the ooze.
It's too perfect. It's perfect because it's great. Like
too perfect.
I know.
Interested in that stuff.
I meant it in jest, Steve. Come on, man.
Well, don't jest with me, Jason. Don't jest.
Don't tease, Tito. Tito, don't tease.
But also like Venkman being the psychic host, where he's like, tune in next week. We'll talk about. See you then.
And Ray owns an occult shop, but that's just literally just Dan Aykroyd's shop, probably, because he's like that in real life.
He's a weirdo. And I believe in the new Ghostbusters, he's like still like a weird book man, where he's like, these books got ghosts
are making me thirsty. I haven't. Don't spoil any of it because I do actually really want to see it. I just have to wait for it to come on.
I haven't seen it.
Video on demand.
Yo, I'm in Reitman's son, Jason Reitman.
Yep.
Also, the kid from the party.
Yeah, the kid who says, my dad says you are full of crap, right? Like that's him, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know that, but I have seen him on set directing, like in photos and stuff, and I'm like, is that him? Is this kid him? And then it is. You just confirmed it. Very good. I like that.
I like that. Different kinds of smoke.
I like that he is saying that they're full of crap, and then now he's the director of the newest movie. That's kind of nice.
Jason Reitman also directed Juno.
With our girl or guy, Elliot. What's their last name now?
His last name stayed the same.
Elliot.
First name changed to Elliot.
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page is transfixed.
What up, Elliot? But
Elliot
you're right.
will never
They
see
cross
this.
over their lives years later, and the pizzazz of Ghostbusters has lost its luster or whatever, and they're like has-beens. And I do like the joke Venkman says to the guy about the world going to end in the book, and he's only got like a few months left. This movie is like shortly before. I think it happens before Christmas and then goes to like New Year's, basically.
Yeah. I think the end of the movie is New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Well, they foreshadow that in the paranormal TV show moment at the beginning, where the guy's like, "The world will end on New Year's Eve."
Yeah.
And then the woman's like, "The world is going to end on February 14th, 2016." So it's the future, even from that. Now it's 2021, and the world did not end, but it's before 2020 was such a fucked up year. 2016 was the last really fucked up year, because I think 15 celebrities died and a bunch of nonsense happened in the world. Donald Trump got elected president. So I thought that was an interesting.
The writers of The Matrix being like, we need to throw a giant amount of monkey wrenches into this. Just toss them in.
Just give me future dates. Just give me future dates and movies. I guess George Jetson will be conceived in the next few this month or last month or something.
Is that true?
The character from The Matrix, Niobe, is going to emerge as a real person. We all know that like Jada Pinkett Smith is like a great actor and heavy metal artist, but she is going to emerge as actually Niobe from the Matrix movies
very soon.
Yeah,
she's gonna get unplugged.
Yeah, she's gonna be
That's
like,
incredible.
Oh, wait a minute, the Matrix movies are real and everything else is fake.
I thought the Matrix took place like in 100 years, though.
Well, we don't know exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it's supposed to be 100 years from
Wasn't there
when it was made, so like 80 years.
Like,
there's seven different anomalies. Was it 7 or 6 or how many
Guys,
anomalies?
I gotta tell you, I am so excited for that new Matrix movie. Like,
well, we have to wait for Omicron to.
The
fuck
Matrix
off.
is one of those things that I love just as much as Star Wars. Like, I love the Matrix. Like, I know a lot about the Matrix and I don't even realize how much I know about it until somebody says something, and I'm like, actually,
like that year at Halloween, you went as a made-up Matrix character called Ram,
and tried to convince everybody that it was a real character.
Yeah.
So, for those who are uninformed, there was a year in Halloween where I dressed up as a character called Ram from The Matrix. And you guys remember Ram from The Matrix, right?
Of course, Ram from The Matrix.
Yeah, he wears all red, and he wears like a red leather jacket, and he has like a snub-nosed pistol, and has like unlimited ammo, but like they don't do a lot of damage.
I think he's got a partner that he rides around with.
Oh yeah, he's got a partner called Bones, and
Bones.
Ram and Bones are like together.
Bones doesn't sound very.
So like Ram does this.
Well, Bones is an actual skeleton, and he turns out he's one of David S. Pumpkin's skeletons. See, this is what we were doing to people all night that year. I was dressed. So Madison, my wife, was dressed as David S. Pumpkins from that one David S. Pumpkins sketch from SNL. She made the suit and everything. I think that was actually 2016 or 2017 because it's been a while now.
Yeah.
But I was dressed as one of the supporting skeletons for Madison's costume. But then me and Steve were wasted, and we were going around convincing people that we were lesser known characters from The Matrix.
That's when people started to catch on, was when you would show up and be like, "I'm a skeleton. I'm
a skeleton."
And I'd be like, "Yeah, remember Ram has his skeleton partner," and we convinced a lot of people. A lot of people that Ram was real. Yeah,
Ram especially. Yes.
I even got to the point where I'm like, well, he's in, that scene in The Matrix Reloaded where they have to blow up the the two facilities at the same time. Like they have to blow them up immediately at the same time so that Neo can go into the doors.
Yeah.
You know that part? So in that meeting, Ram is in the back and he's standing there and he goes, that's all he really does in the movies. But he's like a quest giver in the games. He's in the video games. He's like a quest.
Yeah, he's in all the games. Yeah. He's in Path of Neo, and he's a huge part in Path of Neo. He's not really in the Niobe one, Path of the Matrix.
No, he's not in that one, but he is in the Matrix Online.
Imagine
he's in the Matrix Online.
Ghostbusters in the Matrix.
So anyway,
right.
we made that whole thing up, and I convinced so many people that Ram is a real character. And I honestly, at this point, I know the movie's about to come out, but like I didn't know the movie was going to come out. It snuck up on me. I didn't realize they're actually going to make a new Matrix movie. I should have written to Lana Wachowski. Wait, what? Wachowski? What are their names?
Wachowski.
Right.
Wachowski siblings.
I should have written to Lana Wachowski and been like, can you put this character in, please? Like, I have gone around for years convincing people.
It's an inside joke between like 12 people.
She actually put it in? Like, she put that character in the movie?
Well,
sorry, Caleb. You're the host, buddy. You got to get this ship on the right track.
Well, yeah. It's a hard dance to orchestrate sometimes because I don't want to step on toes.
It's okay. We're just talking about the Matrix and Ghostbusters. We're talking about the Matrix in a Ghostbusters podcast. So I think you were running down the plot. I think that's the point that you were at. You were running down the plot for us.
We were doing a quick little recap of the movie. Yeah, she goes to them so we see what they're doing in their lives now. They're not as successful as they were when they saved the city. It's like they're almost forgotten. Her baby is, there's some weird, what's it called? Paranormal stuff happening. She goes to them for help. Peter catches on that they're helping her. They eventually narrow it down to being underground. And so for some reason, they drill a hole in the middle of the road. There's got to be a manhole.
There's manholes everywhere in New York. I made a note of that.
Right?
Like if you span to the right or left, there would be a manhole.
Yeah.
What do you think the gas is coming from? The sky?
Who
the
told
sky?
You to stop working? Who told you to stop cutting? I let you do your job.
Hey, why are you shaking my tree?
They got the Bronx accent or whatever. Or
yeah.
Hey Ziggy. Yo.
Because that's all he can do. Because normally he talks like this. So, of course, the only thing he can come up with is, yo.
But also, it's very funny.
It's very funny. Egon has always been my favorite Ghostbuster besides Peter. Like, obviously, Peter is like the main character,
Egon
I would
is
say.
the smartest one, right?
Yeah, he's always... And that's what kind of sucks about the new Answer the Call is the Egon character played by what's-her-face? Kate McKinnon. They kind of made her the same character, but like weird, like a weirdo version of it.
Almost like the cartoon version.
Can someone read that, what Brian just said?
The pneumatic train,
according to legend, in 1869, Alfred Eli Beach deceived New York City officials by requesting a permit to build pneumatic postal tubes underneath.
Yeah, that's where they're at right now. Look, it's also where the Ninja Turtles.
But instead used the evacuation to build a demonstration project of the pneumatic transit system. It ran for 300 feet and was open to the public at a 25-cent per fare.
It's also, I'm pretty sure the Ninja Turtles have their base in the third movie.
Sold over 400,000 rides. That's a lot of quarters.
Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's also alluded to that the Ninja Turtles make their base in that same place because it's got the really nice like stained glass and the really nice floors and stuff.
And
if there were two things that should exist in the same universe that maybe don't, the Ninja Turtles and the Ghostbusters.
Oh, guess what? Actually, they do, because there's a comic book series that they made where the Ghostbusters actually open up a dimensional portal. and the Ninja Turtles and the Ghostbusters have to team up to take down. I only have the second one in the series. I can't remember if it's a Ghostbusters ghost that the Ninja Turtles have to help with, or vice versa.
To be completely fair, every single comic book character has existed with every single other.
That's true. That's true. But this felt special in that it's canonized because the two things existed at the same time.
But
I guess it would kind of be.
Those two feel like they should exist together.
Right?
Like the Ninja Turtles and the Ghostbusters, like they really probably should have had a crossover event in cinema, maybe.
It's like He-Man and Transformers also kind of feel that way. Like the Transformers could go to the He-Man planet.
No.
What about okay, hear me out. What about G.I. Joe?
Where do they fit in?
Where does He-Man and G.I. Joe fit together with Ghostbusters and Transformers?
He-Man and anything. He-Man does not need to exist in any other universe other than He-Man.
Where does the show starring MC Hammer and his magic shoes fit in? And then also the cartoon about Back to the Future. How do those all go together?
Oh, they all exist in the Beetlejuice universe. And with the Animaniacs.
Yeah, they open different doors.
And Freakazoid or whatever.
Freakazoid or whatever. That was the best part of all of it.
I truly believe that Janusz is the greatest character in this movie. He is so much funnier than everybody else. He is
Janusz
he's such
and Louis Tully.
I love Louis Tully.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Louis Tully and Janusz, they should have a shared universe. The two of them. They should run a universe.
Where are you from? The Upper West Side?
Why are you came?
Why are you came?
I like his little, his misuse of like North American
How is the baby?
U.S.
The baby's good. Oh, but I woo. Oh,
but I woo. Oh, he's actually sleeping right now. But I woo. And then when he shows up later as like the ghost,
but when
he's dressed in like a weird.
Right after that part where he woos, he like walks down the hallway and like in the back of his head, like giant lights come out.
Don't his eyes start to glow too?
Yeah.
Because it's dark and he's like looking around with the weird
vision to see through the walls or something.
I don't know.
He has ghost powers.
I think it's just a weird special effect.
Yeah. He also so again, Janusz is the best character. He's so funny.
I might
everything that he says is hilarious.
Slightly over. Lewis made me laugh a little bit more.
I like when Venkman calls the painting names.
Yeah.
That always got me. When he calls him a sissy and a butch, that gets me. When he calls him a butch.
But also, it's also funny because Janusz is getting so upset when he says that. He's like, don't call it that. But it's like, like he knows it's got a ghost in it.
It's a nightmare painting that will eat your soul.
What you're doing right now is wrong. I want you to know that.
I want you to know that.
Or maybe I fucked it up. It might be bad.
That was good. That was good. It was appropriate.
It's not good? I have it written down.
Me too, but I wrote it on my computer and I'm in the other room, so I can't even go over it and be like, everything you're doing is wrong.
Everything you're doing. Oh, yeah, I did write that down. When he's walking through just insulting everybody, he does say something.
He says everything you're doing is wrong to one person.
The Ghostbusters get busted. The cops get him or whatever. You go and such.
He says everything. He says everything they're doing is bad. I want you to know this. And then he goes over to David's hair and like pulls the white thing out and he goes, a white thing. The white thing.
And then like seconds later, she's like, the mixture you gave me is really doing the job. And he's like, I make a good cocktail.
I make a good cocktail. Why don't we go get a brunch? Actually, no, I have an appointment. Oh, wait, my breath is bad?
He's very stinky.
Very stinky. And then the Ghostbusters save the world.
But Louis Tully also is funny. Yeah, he is their lawyer, and like when he goes up to the judge,
I would turn into a dog, and they saved me.
Yeah, I just want everyone to know that one time I turned into a dog, and then they saved me. But he's also like he's like the witness is saying stuff and he's just like repeating every single thing that they're saying
Peter's
back to the judge. He's like, they didn't realize, they didn't understand. Right?
Yeah.
And then like the other lawyer chirps in and is like, he's leading the witness. He's like, I'm not. Hey, I thought we were on the same side. Yeah, he's very funny as well. I kind of wish that he would come back for the.
This is the best. Well, Rick Moranis officially is going to come out of retirement now that his kids are grown up, so we might see him in movies over the next few years.
Nice.
Because he's a great actor. He's a fucking. I love him in every role he's ever done. He's weirdly versatile for like how typecast you think he should be.
Yeah.
But he was so good. He was like one of my favorite actors when I was a kid. He's awesome.
I hope he gets put into like a Tarantino. Imagine Tarantino got a hold of Rick Moranis.
Oh my god,
it'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
Tarantino's always
imagine Tarantino makes like a Fargo, but like it's like a Canadian thing. You know, like Kevin Smith for a while got really into like making
yoga hosers.
Canadian, like he was like, I want to make Canadian meat this. Yeah.
Moose Jaws never got made because the first two sucked so hard.
I loved Tusk a lot. I liked Tusk.
I hated Tusk.
I hated
it.
It's worth a watch.
I loved it. It was so.
It's worth a watch.
It is hard to watch, but that's why I like.
The Canadian jokes are hilarious.
That's true. Johnny Depp is great.
I feel like it's very caricaturized.
Spoilers.
It's like meant to be just.
T.J. Miller though.
But he also got fucking Johnny Depp to be in this movie. Because I think their
daughters are friends, I think.
Yeah.
Their daughters are friends, and they're like the main characters of Yoga Hosers.
Yeah. But
amazing though.
Court, some ghosts interrupt the Spicoli brothers.
Come on.
The Spicolis!
That's my favorite scene in any of those old early 90s
I put him away for murder!
I think it's the most iconic scene in this movie besides like the Statue of Liberty walking down the street and crushing the car.
Very inspiring.
Egon.
Oh, that's
I'm kind of upset a lot that Stanley does not, or not Stanley. Fuck. What's his name? Is his name
Egon?
No.
Oh.
Wait.
Lewis?
Oh God, I can't remember his name, and now I seem like I'm a bad person.
Vigo?
The black
Ramis?
guy. Yeah.
Oh, Winston.
I said Stanley because I was watching The Office a lot, and it makes it even worse.
3 white guys have a podcast, and this is what happens.
Terrible.
Yeah. But he doesn't get enough. Like, even the intro is like he's just Ray's sidekick, kind of.
Yeah, he has like 4 lines in this movie, and they're all very... Here's the thing about Eddie Hudson. He is a classically trained actor who they enlisted to be the fourth. And I honestly think, unfortunately, it was a diversity hire situation where it's like
no,
we can't just have four.
No, that's not how it went down. What is the reality is that they wrote this movie for Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy was supposed to be the main character. And they took all of those jokes that were meant for Eddie Murphy, and they gave them to Venkman.
Peter.
They all went to Venkman, and then they just hired a black guy to be in the role.
Still, my point stands. Eddie Hudson is a classically trained actor who is like a star of film and stage. Like he's as old school actor as it gets. And then he's put in with an SNL guy and 2 guys from like SCTV and SNL. Sorry, 2 SNL guys, SCTV guy. My bad. Anyway, they're writing the movie like they would write an SNL sketch. They're sitting down, they're writing all night, they're doing cocaine and getting wasted and coming up with all these like very complex jokes. If you look at the joke writing process, these jokes are pretty layered for the time. For the time, don't get me wrong. They're pretty basic now, but
they're
people
also
have never
still
seen
solid.
anything
like most jokes in this movie
Yes.
are not. They don't like trample on toes.
How many jokes are in this movie? How many jokes would you guys say are in this movie?
400.
There are so many jokes in just the opening part. Like it's great.
There's also subverted jokes, like the fact that they take a woman who is the Statue of Liberty, and they shoot goo up inside of her to make her happy.
Oh, okay, Jason. Calm
I never
down.
even thought of that.
No. Stop that.
No, that's a valid
And-
point. That's a great point.
No,
And
it's not a valid point.
Look at the
Shut
thing
up.
on his back that shoots the goo. It's shaped like a giant dong with balls.
You guys need to stop that right now.
Why?
I like it.
Because
It's
it's
goo.
wrong. It's
Did
not
you
right.
did you not watch the same movie as me?
I did watch the same movie as you, and I am saying stop.
Do you
Stop
look at
it.
ink block tests?
Do you?
I
feel like
I
you.
don't.
I feel like Caitlin. I feel like you go through your apartment with a black light and look at in block tests. Like,
oh shit!
on the wall.
There's a Rorschach test
And
in
you're
your
like, oh
fucking
my god, what have I done?
the wall next to your bed. Is just
I'm a
anyway. That was a.
tidy comer.
No.
I'm glad that I'm glad
It's
that I was
just
able to.
one giant glowing sock, like.
I'm glad that I was able to express that thought because I've always thought that. I've always thought it was pretty, like that was definitely a
You've
joke. that the writers
always
were-
thought
I
that.
thought here it goes further than that. But what's my segment called? What's my segment called?
Jason
My-
comes and stuff.
No. It's that's my going theory. Jason's going theory this week is that they wrote that joke about the Statue of Liberty. We want it to come all over the inside
Stop!
of the Statue of Liberty. Listen,
I've
And
never
they
thought
wrote-
this before. I hate this. I
and
don't
they
like
wrote-
it.
Keep
No,
it
listen,
going, keep it
listen.
going.
And they wrote backwards from that because there was so much
They
disdain
wrote
for making.
backwards from them
Yep,
coming
and-
inside of the statue.
and-
No, they did
Yes,
not.
listen to
do
me,
that.
Steve. It's still my segment, and here's why: there was so much disdain for making this movie to the point that Bill Murray did this as a favor to the other guys because they had so much notoriety from the first that they had to make a second. They'd strike while the iron's hot. And make
Oh
a
yeah,
second
you're
one.
right. And then
5
Bill
years
Murray
later-
came in and he's like, the only way I'm making this movie is we
Cum
come
joke.
inside the city.
Cum
The
joke.
Statue
Boom.
of Liberty.
Right backwards from the cum joke to us being like poor. It's perfect.
No, it's
Perfect.
terrible. Stop that thought process. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Do you
Because
want to
they're
come
coked up
inside of the
70s
Statue of Liberty?
They're coked up 70s comedians writing a movie about spooky ghost beds. The Busted makes me feel good, Steve. It's right in the
What?
lyrics.
That's different though. Like that was a guy
I've connect-
that they hired.
I've connected it all.
I've connected all the cum together, and all I needed to do was get all this cum over here and connect.
And
it
this
to
has been
cum.
this week's edition of Jason's Going Theory.
All right. Do I have to do like
This
a
movie, though,
acting
it did
moment?
feel
Denise?
rough.
Wasn't mine like Steve's theater corner? Or something?
Master Steve Theater. You have to act out. You have to act out a moment.
Do
Okay.
a charade.
Oh, we had a Highgate
Charade.
legend too. Brian gave us the Highgate legend too about the sewer.
Oh yes, we got a Highgate legend. Thank
We
you,
got all of
Brian.
we got the movie title set.
According to mysteries in the past.
So Steve, we just need you to hit us with a quick Master Steve Theater.
I'm actually impressed that in a single year, the operation of the quarter thing in like the mayor in the corner of New York sold 400,000 rides. That's 1 quarter per. That's a lot of money. Brian, if you will, can you calculate how much that is? Money
In the 1930s, just for inflation as well, please, if you could.
Divide by 4.
What?
Nope.
Stop. And can you also divide it by 4?
What is that? $100,000?
Yes. What? What?
Well, because $1 and a quarter, 4.
I don't think I have a moment in this movie that I would like to act out.
I think you. I also think we kind of did it together as the doing. We did like 5 minutes of Janusz impressions.
Yeah, Janusz is good, but I do like the judge.
Do you want to hear?
The Buscemi brothers.
Oh,
I put them
actually,
away from
I
murder.
I have a category I want to bring back. And so I do want to say that I'm pretty sure this movie was rushed, and it really feels like it when you're watching it. Like comedies these days are like every few minutes you have a joke, whereas this one just feels like there's stretches of nothing.
Of nothing.
Yeah.
Especially with Dana and Peter, especially in that scene.
So does the
There's
first
this.
The first movie it's not a comedy movie. It is.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I can now.
We can't. Yeah. You went out for a sec.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear now.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Let's not do that.
Stop.
It's an old joke that people will
What
not understand.
Whoa, 2.1 mil.
So
I thought it was 100,000.
No, you didn't do.
It was 400,000 quarters.
I thought it was 400,000 rides.
No,
400,000 rides at a quarter
that is
apiece.
quarters, like
Yeah, so
400.
How much money is that? Adjusted for inflation.
That's the same thing. I
2.1 million.
400,000 rides. Yeah, a quarter per ride.
Yeah, so that's $100,000.
No, 400,000 times 0.25 is what it would be.
And
Actually,
he also adjusted for inflation.
Actually, Kalen's right, I think.
Yay, math!
Yeah, Kalen was actually correct. 400,000 times 0.25 would be dividing 400,000 by 4. I'm bad at math, and my old noggin.
Wait, did you just do like $1.02? I wasn't doing $1.02. I was just wondering what a quarter times 400,000 was.
But you're not doing a quarter time. Well, yeah. So I guess you are. You what?
I just wanted the number. I didn't want to like have to think about it in my own mind.
Don't worry, I got you, baby.
Yeah, he got you. We sorted it out. This has been Math Corner.
I
It's a
got
new
a category,
segment.
though. I got a category I want to bring back, and I think that it actually might make this movie better.
Okay.
Can we Muppetize this movie?
Thank you for bringing that back. I've been wanting to. I think Batman Muppetize would have been cool, but I think it's pretty obvious what we do here. I think that Miss Piggy is Dana,
Yeah,
and Peter Venkman is your boy Kermit. But then
it has to be.
But I think that Fozzie might be Ray,
Ooh, damn it!
and Egon
shit.
might be Gonzo.
Okay,
I think
let's see here.
I think that Gonzo is Ray.
Gonzo's Ray. Okay. Okay, maybe
I think the
Winston.
eagle is Egon.
Okay, and Winston is Fozzie.
No,
Because he's kind of I'm just happy to be here kind of character. Lewis is the rat, for sure.
Lewis is the
Yes,
rat. Yeah,
Swedish Chef. Yeah, thanks, Brian. Swedish Chef is Janis.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can we just have Michael Caine play Vigo the Carpathian?
I'm down with that.
So, this is the other thing is that I wanted to talk about is how much Max von Sydow is now in our lives in terms of an actor. Like he's just everywhere, all over the place. So
Is that the guy that
Is that
voiced the
Vigo?
he does the voice of Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah. He's not. Yeah.
And immediately when I watched it again, I was like, oh, it's Max von Sydow. Like it's 100% Max von Sydow, and he's like, I can do anything.
I believe it was
More
uncredited.
connection.
Is it
We
the
all
bad
get
guy from?
together.
Is it the bad guy from Dune?
Max von Sydow?
I don't think
The
so.
original Dune?
Oh my god! I'll let you guys search Max von Sydow on your own, on your own time.
I'm just looking at his IMDb now. He says he's in Dune.
One of the other jokes I did like was when they're talking to the mayor, and Ray's like, almost half of us voted for you. So what he's saying is one of them voted for him.
Steve, also, you're right, and it's uncredited. So, good ear.
Thank you. I have a good ear for voices. I'm one of those
Pretty
people
much.
that when I watch any animated movie, I'm like, I think is that Craig Robinson? Everyone's like,
Well, though, yeah, like you'll always know if it's Phil Lamar. You'll always know if it's
T.J. Miller.
Eddie Herman.
One person you can never tell is Alan Tudyk. Alan
Yeah.
Tudyk is like a chameleon with his voice. Like he actually like hides.
Because in movies he's mostly his face,
Yeah.
and he's got a particular voice. But if you take away the face, he just sounds like he just has a voice. Like he just And then on top of that, Liam Neeson
Can we
apparently
substantiate this
voices
claim?
Beaker.
Can we substantiate that?
Who is this person? Because
That's Arjun. He's
it's
a
Arjun.
doctor. He's a doctor,
right.
so we have to
I
take
believe
him
all
for his
doctors
word.
about everything.
He knows what he's talking about.
Arjun got married recently, right?
Yeah, I went to Arjun's wedding, yeah.
Congratulations. I heard that Steve's
Probably-
white privilege
probably
joke
the-
went over real well.
Probably the best wedding I ever went to. Yeah.
I believe it.
And yes, my white privilege joke did go over well, yes. Everybody thought it was funny. So I guess where we're landing now is the end of the movie? I don't know.
I think we're getting close.
Well, Kaylin got up to the point that we brought back that the relationship is happening again. They inspect the baby. We all had our sexual awakening seeing Ripley's boobabs.
That was my sexual awakening.
Our boner went down immediately.
The beginning, yeah.
It's and what I want to say about this movie is this movie, for all of its flaws, all of the shit that happens in the first and second act,
you're welcome, I love you.
Always happens it happens way earlier in the movie than my memory perceives it to. Like it goes like the opening scene where they're at, and then like there's this threat, and then the fucking they start digging into the ground.
Did you guys notice that? Did you guys notice in the very beginning of the movie, it's like everybody is angry at each other. Like it's like a guy being like,
I made a note of that.
I don't want to pay for this ticket. And like another guy like, fuck
and
you, buddy.
The ooze came up, and as they're going past everybody and they're all raging, by the time they get to the end of that, you get one little bit of niceness from the landlord. He's like, I'm not the door guy, but I'll do it as a favor.
Yeah.
And I think I have it. Welcome back to Jason's Theory Corner. I think that the reason why I didn't go Full Metal Jacket and kill the baby is because of the niceness of the landlord, potentially. And just that little bit of niceness.
That Dana is nice, and she is the one that counteracts the ooze. And that's a pretty good theory, too. Her ability to talk to somebody, it like disconnects him from being mean for a minute, and then he's like, all right, I'll help you upstairs with your groceries and your baby. And like he is then disconnected from the ooze. The ooze is coming from everybody, right? Like that's the whole point of the movie is like everybody's mean or angry all the time, and the ooze is growing because of it.
The culprits.
But she's able to pull people away from that rage, anger.
And they reverse the polarity. They say a bunch of nice shit to the ooze, and it becomes like good ooze. And also, there's that great scene where they come out of the sewer covered in ooze after they fall into the river of ooze of slime. It's not ooze, it's slime. Ooze is Ninja Turtles, slime is Ghostbusters. But anyway, they come up and they all they're ready to throw fists, and Egon's like, whoa, guys, take off your clothes.
But their faces are still drenched in it.
Yeah, but the end of the movie is like they use the ooze inside of whatever Jason's earlier thing was.
I broke the movie for you, and I'm so glad because I've been thinking about that for 20 years.
And they use good feelings, like they play the music for the ooze, and it amplifies the ooze in the same way that anger does.
Just put a Brazzers logo right here.
Kindness.
Look at it cascading down the walls of her insides. Brazzers.
I am gonna quit this podcast.
This isn't. If there's any reason you're gonna quit the podcast, it's not because of my cum illusions.
Did you guys see Ben Stein?
Ben Stein's in this?
I didn't see him. Where is he?
No, I didn't. But Ernest Borgnine and Cheech Marin are in the same bit with the Titanic.
Oh,
where's Ben Stein?
He's I think he's in the mayor's office or something. He gives someone a paper.
Okay. Also, Brian Doyle Murray. I think
he's in the mayor's office and he gives the mayor a paper or some shit.
Welcome to Steve's Theater. Master Steve. No, Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother, who also is a great voice actor. He's in lots of animes and stuff. He he's when they get taken to the mental institution, he is there and he has like one line. Probably, I think he gets a paper as well. Oh, also, you know when they go, they're in their underwear and they bust. No wait, yeah, they're in their underwear and they're getting taken to prison.
Oh, that's what I could have done. I could have worn my long johns. Damn.
It's true.
Too late now, brother.
I think it's when they go into the restaurant, actually, when they're still in their long johns. Do you know who the doorman is? Do you know who wants a proton pack for his...
Isn't he a rapper? He's a rapper of the era.
Is it not Bobby Brown, is it?
It's Bobby Brown. Bobby B.
And he's like... And then I think Egon says, like, a proton pack is not a toy.
Yeah, he's like, can I get one of those proton packs for my young cousin or something? Yeah, my kid brother. Bobby Brown at the time, I think he does a song on the soundtrack for this as well.
Yeah. Oh no, or some.
Probably. I mean, that's probably why he's in the movie, right?
Ghostbusters
to life, Ninja Turtles coming. Ninja Turtles coming.
Yeah, too hot to handle, too cold to hold. You call the Ghostbusters and your own
Ninja Turtles are coming.
Ninja Turtles coming to the universe.
Ninja Turtles
universe
should be
now.
shared with this universe. Wouldn't it be
good?
good?
The Donatello hanging out. Michelangelo and Peter also hanging out. Leonardo and Winston, I guess, are the same kind of, except for Peter's the main guy.
Yeah, I really do wish that the Ghostbusters and the Ninja Turtles shared a universe. It would be so.
I wish they would just make that movie now, because they just make an MCU
just even give it to Michael Bay. Who gives a fuck? You know,
Ninja Turtles 3 is a crossover with the old Ghostbusters
Seth
recap.
Rogen's making a new Ninja Turtles movie.
What?
Or show. It's either. I think it's a movie.
Is his name on that new Ninja Turtles show that is coming out? I thought that already came out.
Maybe it's a show. His name's on something with the new Turtles, though. Out of curiosity, so you're talking about Bobby Brown, the soundtrack. What did you guys think about the soundtrack of this movie? I felt that it didn't really fit with the aesthetic of what was going on.
Yeah, but neither did the first movie. If you remember, the first movie has some weird ass music in it as well. Like it's not perfect. You know, you watch the first Ghostbusters and you're like, why is this song on this scene? Like that's kind of like happening the entire time.
It's because that genre of music was popular
at the time. Yeah,
it's like how in Ghostbusters Answer the Call, it's all like shitty rap, like bad like pop rap, and like Fall Out Boy.
Which I would argue again is like they
terrible.
Are just doing what Ghostbusters did. They're like, let's get Fall Out Boy to do the song. And I almost feel like Paul Feig was like, it's a bad choice, right? And everyone was like, yeah, it's a bad choice. And he's like, do it. Like he just like, do it.
I don't know. I saw interviews with Paul Feig and he even was just, I might agree with you on that, because he even was just like, I made the best movie I could.
I think that Paul Feig's approach to Ghostbusters was do exactly the wrong thing within the moment to make the movie right. It didn't work for you.
I hate that movie.
I know you hate it. I know you hate it because you sit there with your fucking Slimer and you're like talking to yourself with your Slimer all the goddamn time.
Okay.
I don't talk to it all the time.
I make TikToks with that Slimer, and it's my most popular TikTok. Okay. So you gotta stick with what works on TikTok. If you want a tutorial on TikTok and how to get popular on TikTok, well, don't come to me, because I've been doing it for 3 years and I can't fucking get it off the ground. So you figure it out, buddy. So what was the question?
I don't need to, is the answer. So,
okay. At least we can all agree that Ghostbusters Answer the Call sucks.
Whoa.
I disagree. I disagree.
What?
I think there's some good moments in that movie. Why don't we talk about that movie for a second? Just for a bit.
Because this podcast is over in 10 minutes and I want to go do something else.
All right.
Oh, do you guys still want to try the test run after this?
Let's talk about that off air.
Well, based
right.
on what I can see behind you there, let's start to wrap things up for this week's episode of, hey, did you see this one?
I thought we were doing the podcast about Vigo the Carpathian. And from now on, we're only going to talk about Vigo the Carpathian.
Vigo.
He is Vigo!
You want for me to come in? No, that's okay.
He's a real butch.
What was the line about the shoulder pads? No one does shoulder pads anymore, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Like right now in the movie that I have it on the screen here, Peter somehow has his. They're all frozen and they're getting zapped with force lasers, and Peter can still somehow yell obscenities at Vigo, and it's so good.
I thought you might come. He's got her baby.
It really makes me sad that there wasn't a third Ghostbusters.
It makes me sad that they didn't make an Extreme Ghostbusters movie in the late 90s. They could have that show wasn't the most popular, but it was good, and I loved it. If they would have made,
me sad because I know that everybody was willing and they had a script.
Yeah, everybody always wanted to make that Ghostbusters 3 script, and I feel like right up until the Seth Rogen group was rumored to make a new Ghostbusters that was kind of based off that and kind of based off Extreme Ghostbusters.
Like the Bong Pack or whatever.
Yeah, when fucking Egon was still alive, when Harold Ramis was still alive,
Whoa,
and they could have.
Oh, it's so sad.
Harold Ramis died fucking 10 years ago, man.
Damn.
10 years?
Or more.
Holy shit, man. That's rough. Because, the video game was, like you said earlier, the video game was...
Yeah, he passed away in 2014. And it sucks because he had just kind of made a resurgence. I think he's in a Harold and Kumar or something.
He was in year one.
Year one,
he was
yeah.
in Orange County. That shit was hilarious.
Orange County is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is the Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon, the first...
He was also in Knocked Up. He plays Seth Rogen's dad.
It's a two-parter first episode where Egon is the last Ghostbuster around and still practicing Ghostbusterism. And he goes to, he's old, and he goes to, do a case. And then he kind of becomes their, Master Splinter. He kind of becomes their guy that they go to,
Not to spoil, but I believe that is the concept of the beginning of Afterlife. I think that is.
Yeah, I got spoiled on how that goes down. Well, I don't want to talk about Afterlife, but I believe you're right.
Did any?
It's so cool. He's the only one left. So cool. I wonder if he's skinny. I assume they do a CG version of him or something. I wonder if he's skinny or fat, because he was a big fat guy at the end.
He was a big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy. I'm looking at a picture of him right now, and he passed away.
I think he looks better with weight on him, personally. Watching this movie, I'm like, damn. He's all lanky.
He's tall. He's very tall.
Yeah.
Harold Ray, they really kind of screwed it up, and that's part of it. You know what, Steve, you're right. Maybe Ghostbusters Answer the Call isn't as bad as I perceive it to be.
Yay!
Even though I'm a dirty misogynist.
I haven't seen it. So.
Answer the Call, not Afterlife.
Well, Jason, oh yes.
Maybe it's not as bad.
That movie is bad. Let me say it is bad.
Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, as I perceive it to be, but I'm so turned off by the fact that they couldn't just get the group back together. And Bill Murray's in that movie, and he doesn't want to be there.
So is everyone. Everyone's in that movie, and I honestly, the thing that kind of it doesn't anger me, but it makes me what? Is that all of them are in the movie. Dan Aykroyd's in the movie. Ernie Hudson's in the movie. Even Harold Ramis is in the movie as a bust. He's a statue in the background.
Is Ernie Hudson related to?
Yeah, he's the one that gives them the hearse or whatever.
Does he get? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Who's Dan? Is Dan Aykroyd some weird biker or something?
No, he's a cab driver, and he's I ain't scared of no ghost.
Well,
But I don't go to Chinatown or something. He like says something dumb, and you're like, oh God, like, can't you just be the character, like the same character?
No.
yeah.
I would have been okay with that movie if they were the Ghostbusters giving the proton packs to them.
And we should have gotten that movie in 2002, and it should have been a fresh out of like Undeclared and the Judd Apatow verse, like Seth Rogen and
I almost feel like the Afterlife is like
James Franco.
Afterlife is like the real
Jay Baruchel
timeline of the story, and then like Ghostbusters 2016 is like a movie that happened in
It's
that
another
timeline.
universe.
It's a movie it's a movie about the Ghostbusters in universe.
Yes, exactly.
A retelling later, and they just get all the facts wrong. But it does have the Answer the Call does have that opening bit with where it shows like a ghost thing happen that the first two movies have.
And
I'm looking forward to Afterlife having one of those too. So.
I hope that it does. I don't know if it does, but I hope it does because I love the like. I will again agree, Jason, that opening sequence was kind of like we get it. Like we understand, yes, okay. It's like the library. We understand, like the librarian being like.
Well, I had hope for the movie when I saw it because it had Zach Woods. Zach Woods is great too.
Yeah, and it was kind of good. Like it was good to a degree. Like I liked him falling down the staircase as the staircase is being destroyed by ooze or whatever, and he's like, ah! And like as he turns the camera and it zooms in, and it's like, I'm like, whoa, great.
Yeah.
But everything leading up to that was like, who gives a fuck?
And then everything after that is like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I had laughs.
I had laughs too. There are so many good moments in that movie. I had scoffs. I had lots of scoffs. What about when they're in the
I groaned.
When they're
I had lots of groans.
They're in the subway tunnel and like Hoffman, I can't remember her name. She's like, and it goes like, and it like goes down, and she goes, oh, wah wah. I was like, oh, good, yes, excellent, very funny.
No, that's the terrible joke because it's the boner joke.
Oh man, Jason, you and I have different senses of humor.
Hey, we don't though, because I told that whole thing about how the Statue of Liberty just got jizzed in by 4 dudes, and you were like, please stop talking.
I did.
Anyway, Kaylin,
Jason,
why don't you why don't you take us home or something?
I'm gonna take us home. All right. Let's wrap things up a little bit. And
I'm sorry, Steve. I love you, brother.
I love you too, but
order.
I also hate you.
And we're gonna blood feud.
You guys too. I'm so confused right now. I get distracted easily.
We both hate you, Kaylin, so it's fine.
Thanks.
For a very specific reason.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which we will never tell you, so it's going to be hard for you.
How hard?
Just go for it, brother.
Okay, I'm trying. I'm the host. I'm driving this show.
That's what you got to do.
Audience, thank you for chilling with us. And Jason, tell me, what are your final thoughts on this movie? Where do you stand today with it?
So, as I said earlier, a year ago, I gave this movie a 3.2, and I got through the first act, and I was like, "This is a 4.5." And I watched part of the movie, and then went out. Like I watched the beginning of the movie where all the good stuff happens, I think, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. All the good stuff happens up until Venkman and Dana reunite. And I went out. Basically, the first 25 minutes of the movie. Then I went out, and I was thinking about it. And I was like, "Man, I can't believe that I only gave it a 3.2. That seems ridiculous. This movie is easily a 4.5." But honestly, It's very unfortunate because once I know that the Marvel movies in the beginning and superhero movies in the beginning were successful at the box office because they shoehorned these love stories in to have a more mass
talking about how the Ghostbusters are fucking superheroes.
More mass appeal. No, it's more of a style choice. They had to they widened the audience with Ghostbusters 2 by putting in that love story and making it a little bit more robust for people who want to see that. And that's what I link to the reason why superhero movies took off in the first place. You put in that love story, it makes the audience wider. Okay, so first of all, my problem with this movie is that you instantly go into Venkman trying to be cute to a baby, and it's good sometimes, but there's a huge cringe.
He's cute to that baby.
There's a huge cringe in this movie to me.
Oh my god!
Where he picks up the baby and he goes, boop, 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 boop. I hated it. I hate that.
Venkman, I think you just hate babies. You hate women and you hate babies. Jesus.
That I will admit to. But he does, Egon says something immediately. Oh, the joke after that brings you back in is Ray goes like, you really didn't have toys as a kid, and Egon goes, I had half a Slinky as a kid, but I straightened it. And that brought me back into the movie. But my biggest gripe in this movie are those weird lulls.
I think he says he had half a Slinky.
That's what I just said. If you hadn't walked all over me while I was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh!
But my point is I'm going to actually just keep it. I'm going to put it down to a 3.1. Because it didn't really move that much for me, but I was annoyed by the things that annoy me about this movie a lot more this time around.
Right.
But the things I love are the same, but nothing really moved. It didn't move the needle forward. I didn't like anything more than I regularly like it. I watch this movie every year. I watch this movie at least once a year. I just want to make that perfectly clear.
That's quite
and this particular time, 22 minutes in, I was like, why isn't this a 5? And then the remaining hour and 20 minutes, I was like, when will this end? I know what happens beat for beat after that. So that's 3.1 out of 5. Sorry.
3.1. Wow.
Not sorry.
Sorry.
Ghostbusters 1 is a 4.5. I'll put that out there.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Answer the call, -20.
No.
Jesus, Jason, come on.
No.
You can't go into the negatives.
It's a 1.2.
Fine. My same score for Norm Macdonald's fucking stupid dirty work movie.
I think I gave that a 5.
We just need to watch it together in company.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason. And Steven, yourself, where do you stand with this movie after all these years as of today?
I watched it today, and I did love it. Like everything about it is great. Like it's good, man. It's a good
There's
movie.
one thing. Sorry, Steve. Sorry, 1 second. There's one thing I just wanted to add before I forgot to add. This movie in 4K on Netflix
Sounds shitty.
makes it look like a modern movie. It looks so fucking good. The special effects don't even
I agree.
look bad.
When you look at the towers and like every building, like every establishment.
The slime is so vibrant. The slime looks so fucking cool. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead. I was like,
I don't have a ton to say about this movie except that I really like it a lot. I know I kept trying to like reel us back to the opening sequence, but I appreciate that Dan Aykroyd and Ivan Reitman like sat down and were like, where do we put the Ghostbusters now? Where are they? And like
Scotland.
all of it. Shut the stop. They're not in Scotland. they're in the perfect places that they need to be. Like they all see, except for Ernie Hudson's character. It's almost like they didn't care about his character, which kind of sucks. Like he should have had his own thing, right? Like he should have been doing his own thing. He should not have been a character who's like, I'm with Ray.
One line per act.
Yeah. That didn't work. But like having Venkman on TV doing like a weird hypnotism show and Egon being in a laboratory where he's like literally studying emotions, which he has none. It's like brilliant. It's like brilliant. Like he has no emotions, but he is literally just studying emotions. Like that's so
when Dana asks, "Does he ever talk about me?" While her back is turned to him, and he goes, "Never," and then scans her.
It's so good. It's so good. Egon is by far the funniest character in.
He's horny in this movie, which is hilarious.
A little bit.
He's horny in both movies.
He's not horny. He's like a little bit horny, like to the point that you're like, "What the?" Like he's like horny much hornier on like a normal level.
I think it's much hornier in the first one because him and Janine are like implied to be.
Yeah, but in this movie we got Janine and what's his name?
Lewis. She has a type.
She has a type, and it is weird. You gotta be weird.
I'm down with that.
I gave him some French bread pizza, and he fell out.
And Dana's like, she wants to say you gave pizza to a baby?
Everybody thinks that, like, well, you can't give pizza to a baby. And then they look out the window and it's like the baby on the side of the building and like, what's his name? Janusz is like coming as like what is he? Like he's like
a little old lady.
Yeah, he's
like a
little old
midwife?
lady. Yeah, like
the witch from Oz, Wizard of Oz.
Okay, yeah. And the thing about that scene that's interesting is that when I was a kid, when it was on like not HD TV, I couldn't even like make out what the fuck it was. And now it's all in HD and you can like see.
That is the only moment in Ghostbusters 2 that is too much paranormal. Like it's like what? Like that's the one moment where I'm like, but he was a guy. He's just a guy. Why is he a ghost now? Like I don't understand.
I didn't understand that, yeah.
And I still don't. Like every time I watch it, I'm still like, what?
There's probably more to it, like the Gettysburg stuff that was cut from the first movie.
Yeah, but like like if it's not in it, then it's not there, and you're like, what's happening? But he's also, again, my favorite character in the entire movie. Like he's so funny. He's funny. Come on, guys, you got to admit. Thank you for laughing.
That's my Egon laugh. Steve, you gotta give movie... it
Did you just talk over me? I give this movie a... Oh, you talked over me as well.
And then I did it too, my bad. All right. Steve.
I give this movie 5. Wait. Sorry, no. What? 5 is the maximum, right?
It's whatever you want it to be.
3. Exact 3. Middle.
Wow. I thought you were going to go higher.
The middle you can get. Yeah.
I like how we're all like, I love this movie. It's a fucking 3. I guess that leaves you, Caitlin.
I do love the movie, though. I do love this movie a lot, but like it deserves a 3. Like you can't. When he's like flapping his shirt out the window and he's like, I put my shirts out on the windowsill to make them not stink anymore. And you're like,
oh, that whole thing with the different levels of laundry is a real thing in my life. Where it's like, if I've only worn a hoodie once, I hang it on the back of a chair.
Like story development and like giving you more information on a character, which makes me be like, oh, this is a real movie. Like they care enough to talk about this character. It's not just a movie. It's not just a thing where you're like beating somebody in the face with why it's a movie. It's like, oh no, he's a real character. He's a real person. He puts his gross laundry out on the corner.
They shoot their weird slime inside of the Statue of Liberty. And
Jason, do you have different
real
steps?
happy.
Yeah, I feel like Jason is the enemy this episode. He keeps talking about jizzing inside of the fucking Statue of Liberty.
Sounds fun to me. What did you say? Kayla?
Do you have different steps to your laundry process?
Well, I just agree with him that like it's not like you take a shirt off and it's dirty. If you wear a shirt for like 4 hours, it goes on the chair. Or it goes. I hang hoodies on the back of my chairs in the living room all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And pants, they get free wears no matter what.
I've been to Jason's house and it smells like balls.
Yeah.
All
Nope. Doesn't. It smells good.
It does. No, it smells like balls.
It smells good in here because I have a wife.
He's just,
It would smell like balls if I lived alone. Trust me.
yeah.
All balls all the time.
Which brings me to me.
Balls! I'm balls!
I'm nuts, and that'll never change. But yeah, so this isn't a movie that I put on frequently. As I was watching it, I was asking myself, like, what is this movie? Is it a comedy? Because it's definitely not like modern day comedies where it's like joke, maybe 5 minutes, joke, maybe 5 minutes, like, you know, short attention span people or whatever, right? They're trying to like build a story, but at the same time, it feels rushed. And based on some of the research I did on it, there was kind of a bit of a rush to it all. And also like parts cut or what have you. But I'm rambling. Yo, this non-alcoholic beer will get you drunk.
Uh-huh.
I quit drinking for a while one time, and I used to drink non-alcoholic beer, and the placebo effect is strong with that stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, like I watched this movie. I actually watched it twice. I watched it the other day, and I found myself checking out a little bit. There were some laughs here and there. The moments that I enjoyed, I really enjoyed. As a whole, though, I watched it again last night, and definitely liked it a little bit more when I kind of forced myself to pay attention a little bit more.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I enjoyed the tiny jokes way more when I was like forcing myself to watch it, being like, I have to pay attention, and like the tiny little jokes are much better.
I think it was written as a movie that was made for wide audience, so
it
was like a movie that kids can watch, adults can enjoy and get stuff out of, and I think that's it. They almost had it, but there's so many parts that are just like, it's too long.
They definitely tried to widen the range. Sure.
Yeah.
I think if they made it a Muppet movie, I honestly think if it was a Muppet movie...
if this was a Muppet movie, we would be all over the banks.
No,
the banks would be fucking us right now.
I'm not even kidding. Like, I think it would actually be a better movie because they could play up the jokes. Like, still keep the jokes that they have, but put in more zaniness.
Yes, we would all have Transylvanian accents in it. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I really want to see a Muppets Ghostbusters. Fuck.
On that note, though, I don't want to shit on anyone's art, work, creativity.
I do.
You know, these
What? Why?
Probably, you know, they could change from one day or, you know, week or month or year to the next. But for today, I'm just going to say 2.5 just to say something.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I'm the mean one.
I have the highest review for Ghostbusters 3, which is a 3.
Yo,
mine is a 3.
I like the one with the ladies. I think I might even like it better than this one.
I
think that this movie could not exist without Ghostbusters 1, obviously.
I tell you who it could not exist with. It could not exist without the viewers. And on that note, I'd like to thank all of you out there.
Your segues are on point, man. I will say that.
On behalf of Jason and Steve, I'm Kellen.
For Steve and Kaylin, I'm Jason.
I said it wrong.
For Jason, for Kaylin, I am Steven.
I need to redo it because I said it wrong. For Jason and Steven, I'm Kellen. But those guys. You guys
for Jason and for Kayla and Steve, and I'm Jason.
I repeat what I said earlier.
Exactly. And on that note, I just got to say, hey, did you see this one?
Hey.
I saw it. Did you? Did you see it? Oh God, I don't know where my camera is.
Did you see it, huh?
Wait, button.